Hello and welcome back to another video on high altitude investing. In today's video, we are going to be talking about Cardano and also talking a little bit about Snakecoin, S-N-E-K, at the end of the video because that is the Cardano meme coin. That's one of the biggest meme coins on Cardano, and I believe it's going to take off. So starting off here with Cardano, we're looking at Cardano on the 3-day candlesticks, and as you can see, we did break bullish out of a channel. So we have a downward facing channel here, and we did break bullish out of this channel. We came back down to the channel as support, as you can see, and we've started to bounce again off of that support level and head up towards our local resistance right here at around 93 cents. Now what I see happening here on the 3-day candlesticks is a push up through our local resistance and a continuation up through even this resistance up here at $1.31. So I expect both this level and this level to be broken above as we've completed a standard correction here on Cardano. So I believe we will get a strong reversal due to the fact that this whole correction right here is looking over. We're starting to bounce off of support. The entire market is starting to take off, which is a really good sign for this coin because this is one of the biggest coins in terms of market capitalization. As far as Elliott waves goes, it's very simple and clear. We have wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. Then we have a correction coming down. You could count this as a WXY correction because it looks like it has all ABC subwaves. Or if you're new to Elliott wave theory, it's not going to hurt anything to count this as an ABC correction and just view it as a standard ABC correction. The result of both of those patterns is the same, the result being a strong bullish reversal and another Elliott wave coming. Now, from an Elliott wave perspective, if this is all 5 waves up and an ABC correction down, then we're expecting wave 3 coming in this market. So this all becomes wave 1 and wave 2 inside of a larger degree Elliott wave set that should take us all the way through resistance and up to a new local high. Now wave 3 is always going to be bigger than wave 1 and sometimes even bigger than wave 5, although with crypto we do get extended 5th wave sometimes, but wave 3 is always going to be bigger than wave 1. So that next Elliott wave coming in the bigger picture here could be very vertical here for Cardano. And as you can see, if we zoom out here on the bigger picture, this would make a huge rounded bottom, which is very common for crypto to do this exact pattern. There are lots of examples of these rounded bottoms in the crypto markets, but one of my favorite examples is Ethereum back here in 2018, 2019, and 2020, and even into 2021, when Ethereum made this huge rounded bottom and broke out to a new all-time high and really started to take off. And if we look at Cardano right now, we can see the exact same thing happening. So buying Cardano right now is a lot like buying Ethereum in 2020 before Ethereum went vertical in 2021. So buying right here is a lot like buying Ethereum right here at the same point in its rounded bottom formation. So that's another thing that leads me to believe, not only because of the Elliott waves, but also because of this big rounded bottom, that we will get a very vertical move coming for Cardano. Now, if we zoom out to the 10-day candlesticks and see the full picture here for this coin, we have Elliott waves again. So we have wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5. Then we have our ABC correction down, wave A, wave B, and wave C. So that's a complete Elliott wave cycle here on the 10-day candlesticks. Now, something I really like to see here with this coin is the fact that we have big volume spikes coming in as the price is starting to recover here off of the bottom of wave C. That's a really good sign. Whenever you have increasing price and increasing volume, that shows strength in the market, and it really confirms that this bottom formation that we're starting to see is real. There's substance behind it, and we're going to see a lot more upside as a result of that volume confirmation. Now, in terms of the market cycle, this market cycle looks a lot like Ethereum in 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020. It's very similar, but it's also very similar to the first market cycle on Bitcoin. So I'll go ahead and pull that up. So here is the first market cycle on Bitcoin on the right and Cardano over here on the left. And you can see it's really the same structure the market started bottoming out on Bitcoin, making higher highs and higher lows, just in the same way that Cardano is doing currently. And you can see both Ethereum and Bitcoin went very vertical, breaking above their old all-time highs and just straight going to the moon. So I see something very similar coming for Cardano, where we do get a huge breakout in the bigger picture and a very vertical move. So not only are we bullish on the smaller time frame, like the 3-day candlesticks, but we're also very bullish here on the bigger picture with a huge parabolic breakout on Cardano coming soon, as you can see based on these charts. Now the monthly candlesticks are looking very strong. We're starting to see a bullish candle forming on the monthly. So August could be a very bullish month. We could see a lot of upside in crypto, including Cardano, all throughout August. And usually crypto does have a tendency to increase in value towards the end of the year. Usually the end of the year is very bullish for crypto. That's what we saw last year. That's what we've seen pretty much every single cycle. So it's very possible that we see a strong end of the year for crypto as we're starting to break out for wave 3 here on Cardano, and a lot of other coins are starting to break out as well for bigger picture structures, whether it's wave 3 or a new all-time high. A lot of coins are starting to show strength, and that gives me confidence that we will have a very strong end of the year for crypto. So the big question everybody always asks me, and of course nobody knows for sure how high these coins will go, but I can give you an estimation based on Fibonacci extensions how high Cardano could go before we see a major correction. So if we measure from the bottom of Bitcoin cycle to the top and back down to the bottom with our Fibonacci extension tool, you can see that Bitcoin went all the way to the 8236, then it had an 80% correction, reaccumulated, and then it went all the way up to the 32618 before it had another bear market. So it had 2 bear markets because this was an 80% correction right here on Bitcoin once it hit the 8236. But after that, it reaccumulated and went all the way up to the 32618 before having an 84% decline and a major, massive bear market. Now, I'm not saying Cardano is going to follow the same pattern. Obviously, nobody knows exactly how high price will go, but we can get an estimation and get an idea of what could happen comparing these 2 fractals together, and then taking into account the fact that the market is variable and can have differences. You can have one coin hit a completely different extension, but at least it gives you an idea of how high Cardano could go. So let's measure from the bottom of the cycle here up to the top and back down to the bottom. And as you can see, if Cardano follows the exact same pattern that Bitcoin followed, the 8236 is $25, which is a pretty big percentage gain from current price. That would be over 30x your money from current price if we just hit the 8236. But if it does what Bitcoin did, Bitcoin reaccumulated and went all the way up to the 32618. Now, this could take a while to get there. Bitcoin did that in the period of about 2 years, whereas Cardano does look like it's in a bigger cycle in terms of time. But if it does follow the Bitcoin fractal, then you're talking about $100 per Cardano, which would be absolutely insane, but it is totally possible for us to get to this level, especially with hyperinflation. If the dollar continues to lose its value, and a lot of people are going to be going to different places to try and store their value and have a form of currency. And crypto is the most viable form of currency, and it's also got a whole bunch of other innovations, even besides just being a currency, that's really influencing a lot of people to want to put their money in to crypto. So while I'm not saying that it's for sure that Cardano gets to $100 per coin, it's definitely possible, especially if the value of the dollar continues to crash and we see a lot of devaluation of the US dollar, then a lot of things could hit very high market caps, not only because the dollar would be worth less, but also because crypto would be growing as an industry. So the more conservative target for Cardano is $25. That is 30 times your money from current price. And the supermoon target, if we have a crazy mass adoption phase and the value of the dollar keeps falling off a cliff, then it is possible over the long term for Cardano to hit even as high as $100, following the same fractal that Bitcoin followed on its way to the 32,618. So that's my view on Cardano in the bigger picture. Now let's go ahead and check out Snakecoin. Snack, I guess is how you'd say it. This is Cardano's top meme coin. So if you haven't looked at this coin, this is definitely something you want to look at. If we go down to the daily candlesticks, you can see a very similar pattern as what happened to Cardano recently, with a 5-wave structure here: wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5, and an ABC correction that came right after. Wave A, wave B, and wave C, and we've started to recover off of that C wave. Started to see a new Elliot wave structure coming here for this coin. As you can see, started to recover here, and we're starting to see volume as well. And it wouldn't surprise me at all to see a huge volume spike here, especially if we continue to get upside. We could have a huge spike in volume that would take us all the way to a new all-time high. So I'm definitely looking at this coin because it's kind of like buying Cardano on leverage. So instead of having to go risk getting liquidated, you can come buy this coin, which has a huge community. It already has like 300 million in market cap, and it's starting to take off. So if Cardano really does take off, like I think it will, buying this coin is like buying Cardano on leverage without risking getting liquidated. So this is a really good coin to be looking at in terms of percentage gain and in terms of profitability. This coin has a lot of profit potential, and as we start to see Cardano take off, I believe this coin will go vertical and make a lot of people very rich. Now you can buy it on Mexi, but if you don't have access to Mexi, you can also use Change Now. You can use Change Now and convert some of your ADA into SNEC very quickly and easily, or you can go over to Miniswap and just exchange your ADA for SNEC there. So it's pretty simple to get some of this coin. You could also use KuCoin if you have that available where you live. In the US, the easiest way to do it would either be Miniswap or using Change Now. Those are the two easiest places in the United States to get yourself some SNEC coin. But I mean, if you go to the website, look at this guy. How could you not want to hold some SNEC? In SNEC we trust. I mean, this guy is just cool. He's got a pipe in his mouth. He's mad chillin'. There's a bunch of holders. There's over 42,000 holders, and the market cap is already 300 million, and there's 5 million in volume. So this is basically like buying Cardano. The only difference is you're going to get a bigger percentage gain because the market cap is smaller. So it's like buying leveraged Cardano without risking getting liquidated. Unless, of course, this coin fails, which is always possible, but I don't see that happening with how much volume and people holding this coin. I believe this will just follow Cardano all the way to the moon. So the best thing to do with stuff like this is to buy early on, like right now, and just hold through the pump, because once it starts pumping, you have no idea how high it's going to go. You can get some estimations with your fib tool, but overall, buying early on and then just holding on and selling as it starts to go parabolic and scaling out is the most profitable and the simplest strategy for crypto. So yeah, that's my update on Cardano and Snakecoin. So thank you for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you guys in future videos. And as always, stay profitable out there.